you join me on a very windy day. If you think that the Camry over there is Toyota's best seller, you are wrong. It's actually the RAV4. Hey guys, welcome to Chris Mack. Welcome to the channel. In this video, we have the 2024 RAV4 Hybrid Limited, and I'm going to show you all the features, take it on the drive, and give you guys my final verdict. But now, let's go ahead, drum roll, get into this review. Looking outside of the 2024 Toyota RAV4 Limited Hybrid, this is your key fob right here with lock, unlock as well as a trunk release and panic button with the Toyota logo on the back. Average quote of this vehicle is $45,274, dressed in a windshield pearl exterior on a black Softex interior. Now this generation did debut for the 2019 model year, so I will show you a couple of changes versus the pre-facelift model. But looking at the front end fascia right here, this being a hybrid does have the blue accent Toyota badging right there. The regular gas version will have a black background. Behind that, this does also house the sensor for the Safety Sense 2.5 driver assist technology. You can also see the front view camera down below. Now coming over here to the lights, you do have a full LED lighting setup right here for your daytime running lights, which are above the LED low and high beams. So this is your headlights right here, the DRLs up top, and LED turn signals on the side. This version also does have LED fog lights further down below. Now the RAV4 is available in both a regular gas, hybrid, and plug-in hybrid version, dubbed the Prime. Looking over here at the wheels, you have a graphite 18-inch wheel wrapped on an all-season tire. LED turn signals inside of the mirror with your side view camera system down below. This version also does have the Panoramic sunroof for $500 up top, as well as the advanced driver assist technology and also the advanced package, as well as the weather package as well. I will put all the information and packages in the description below. Overall vehicle length is 180.9 inches long from nose to tail. It has about 8.1 inches of ground clearance in this all-wheel drive configuration right here. Gas tank is over here on the driver's side. Coming around to the rear, you can see you have a dual exhaust setup right here, as well as LED tail lights for the rear running light, brake lights, and halogen turn signals and reverse lights right there. And you can see the blue Toyota badge right there for this hybrid version. Opening the trunk, which is powered, you can also use the kick sensor so you can motion to open the trunk. You will get greeted to 37.5 cubic feet of space. You can fold down the seats in a 80-20 fashion right there. You have a cargo cover right there to hide your cargo. A JBL subwoofer over here on this side. You also have your floor mats. This one does have the carpeted floor mats as well as the rubber floor mats as well for like inclement weather. 12-volt charger over here with some more storage on that side. Let's see what else you get down below. You do have a temporary spare tire as well. You basically hit the button right there, boom, to close the trunk and or tailgate. But now let me show you guys under the hood where all of the action happens. Now you can also get a more aggressive hybrid version dubbed the XSE if you want to have a little more of the blacked out accents. You can't see this one being the Limited. It does have like the chrome trim accents. Now under the hood of this RAV4 Hybrid, you'll find a 2.5 liter four-cylinder, which makes 176 horsepower with 163 pound for the torque, connected with a 240 volt battery, which makes 118 horsepower, for a total system net horsepower of 219 horsepower total. It uses a ECVT transmission for a electronic all-wheel drive system. You get 41 in the city, 38 on the highway, and 39 combined. Vehicle weight is 3,800 pounds as this one is equipped. We get a 3/4 front shot for you guys right here. Boom. But now let's hit the interior where all the action happens. And we are going to start in the back seats. So let's go. Hopping inside of the rear seats. I have the seat a little bit further back than my 5'6" frame would suggest, but I have about 6 inches of legroom. As far as headroom goes, I have about 2.5, 3 inches of headroom all the way up to this panoramic sunroof up top, as you guys can see that. You have storage compartments on both sides, or over here on the passenger side. You do have some charging ports down below for 2 USB-C ports, some air vents right there. This one does have the heated rear seats as well. This is a black Softex interior, and you do have your cup holders in the middle. But this Panoramic just lessens so much light for $500. I highly recommend getting that option. And here's a quick look to the cockpit. But now let's go ahead and hit the driver's seat where all of the action happens. Keep in mind, this version does have keyless entry for all 4 door handles for the driver, front passenger, as well as the second row. Looking over here at the door panels, you do have a 2-person memory setting right here with your automatic window controls, lock and unlock, and mirror controls right there. Control the mirrors on the exterior. Looking over here, you do have your gas tank release, hood release, cluster illumination, as well as the automatic headlights or high beams, 360 camera, which I will show you guys in 1 second, heated steering wheel, trip information. You can also open up the trunk or tailgate and also heat up like the wiper section. There's some more storage right here. This is a manual telescoping steering column. Looking over here at the seat controls, you do have a power bottom, back support, as well as a 2-way lumbar support right there. Hopping inside of the RAV4, you do have this 3-spoke steering wheel, which stated before is heated. You have your light controls as well as fog light controls over here on this side with your wiper controls over here. This is how you can control and configure the Safety Sense 2.5 driver assist technology, which we'll try on the road for your adaptive cruise control, lane keeping assist, track forward and back for your radio connections, as well as the phone acceptance and rejections, and you have a back button if you do make a mistake. And you can also toggle up and down between the various different menus inside of the cluster, which I will talk about in 1 second. Volume controls and voice command functions right here. Looking at the cluster right here, this is a 12.3-inch display. Using these buttons right here, you can control and configure how the display is set up. This is my personal preference, so you have your driving score or eco score over here, lane information, as well as the media functions on that side. You can change that right there with various different modes. So you can go over here to this screen. So right now I'm on the 3rd screen. I can toggle between all the various different information and functions right here. So this is the central screen, and I can go over to the left-hand screen and adjust all of that right here. And I can go all the way over to the right-hand screen and adjust all the various different information right there. So you can have a full configurable view right here of how you want the screen to be set up. But this is my personal preference right here. Looking over here at the infotainment, this is a 10.5-inch display. It does have wireless CarPlay and Android Auto. I do want to start with a quick audio test with the 11-speaker JBL sound system. So let's try it out. Now, as you can see, the system has a lot of bass and sound quality. It definitely is impressive for sure. I would probably put it in line with like the Bose system, if not just a little bit below it. Could use just a smidge more bass, but definitely up there with the Bose system. Going back to your infotainment, you do have your CarPlay and Android Auto, all of which is wireless. You do have your navigation, which is a subscription-based thing. Radio and media functions are right here. Phone connections, as well as the phone like panning into the infotainment display. You have some vehicle settings right here for your trip information, so you can put up your latest MPG as well as driving range. Or you can put up an energy flow meter, so it'll show you where it's sending power to, whether it's using the battery or the engine to propel you forward, or using both in tandem. Also vehicle alerts right there. There's some more vehicle settings, personal settings, as well as the Bluetooth connections and various different functions. General settings, you have built-in Wi-Fi as well as hotspot integrated into this vehicle. Display settings, you can change the brightness as well as the rear view camera settings and so on. Sound displays and media controls, so you can actually change how much bass and tuning like treble and response you get from the sound system. You also have vehicle customizations right here for your lighting settings, door control settings, as well as the climate settings right here. And also built-in software updates, so when Toyota does release like a update for the infotainment, you can get it boom right over the air, or you can go to your local Toyota dealership and they'll take care of it during your service. You do have a physical volume knob right here on this side. Push button start is right over here on this side by the driver. You have 2 air vents with your hazard control in the middle, and you do have a dual zone climate control right here. You can see that. Looking further down below, you do have a traction control as well as a 3-stage heated and cooled seats. So right now I have the cool seats on, and then you hit that again for the heated seats. That's also for the passenger as well. You do have a 12-volt charger with a USB-A port for connectivity, for charging and connectivity into the infotainment. I do have the wireless charging pad going right now for my iPhone, charging up, no problem at all. You have an electronic parking brake with a auto hold function, and this is how you can control and configure the vehicle as far as the various different drive modes. So you have your trail mode, you can go over to Eco, Sport, push for normal, and you do have a EV mode. But let me show you guys the animations inside of the infotainment. So right now we're in is normal mode. You go over into a Eco mode, Sport mode, and you can basically push for normal mode right there in the middle. I like the animatics or the graphics in the way like the animations and everything are. It's very cool. You can also put it into a trail mode if you actually want to take this thing off-roading with 8.1 inches of ground clearance. It can go into all EV mode, so you'll use all 118 horsepower of the 240-volt battery under the hood. This is your gear shifter on this side. Put into reverse to pull up your backup camera as well as your 360 camera with trajectory lines and sensors both front and rear. Go down to neutral drive, and when you're in drive, if I hit the camera button, that will pull up a front view camera when you are going under a certain speed. And you can also put it into an automatic mode. So under like, I believe it's 8 or 9 miles an hour, it will come up automatically like slow speed maneuverability. And go over to sport and go all the way back to park right there. Looking back here, you do have 2 cup holders, so a pretty good size. And you do have a center console, some more storage, as well as 2 USB-C ports right there. And you got a little tray right there to put your stuff. Looking up top, you do have the rear camera right here, so you get a full view of what's behind you. You can hit the button right here on the end to change and configure how you want everything set up, from like the tilt angles, the brightness. You can also put up like your HomeLink display settings and so on. So if I toggle through with this button, you can literally like go through all these different modes. So you can see right there, it cycles through everything. You can also have a garage door opener further down below. Sunglass holder with some illumination up top, which is LEDs. And this is how you can open and control the panoramic sunroof up top with the various different controls right here. So you can tilt it open, slide it open, or just open the shade and get a airy feeling like it is right now. But now, let's go ahead and take the RAV4 Hybrid for a drive and see how it does in the real world. So let's go. We are behind the wheel of the 2024 Toyota RAV4 Hybrid Limited. Now, speaking of visibility out the front and rear sides, I can see very good over the hood, as well as out the side mirrors and even out the back. You also have this digital rear camera mirror right here, aiding with the visibility even more. Now, speaking of seat comfort, as we sit here at the light, you do have 3-stage heated and cooled front seats, which you can control and configure right here, as well as heated rear seats and a heated steering wheel button right here. First, setting off, as you can see, we are in eco mode for maximum amount of fuel economy. Now, keep in mind, this one is rated at 41 mpg in the city and 38 on the highway with 39 combined. Has about 219 net horsepower. Now, the engine makes about 176 horsepower with the battery, which makes about 118 horsepower. I have to say though, the transition between electric and gas mode is very smooth. You can also put it into a full EV mode right here, depressing the button in the center console, as you can see right here. Now we're in the full EV mode, so you'll be only running on the 245-volt battery with 118 horsepower. Now, Toyota does also offer the RAV4 in a standard 2.5 gas version, this hybrid version, and the plug-in hybrid version dubbed the Prime, which has about 302 horsepower and does under 60 in under 5-6 seconds. Don't mind the rush hour traffic. We're about to be moving momentarily. It's funny, that's what they be saying, like, you know, you're on the train or the metro and they be like, oh, will we move momentarily? It's literally, it's funny. It's literally like that in person right here, as you guys can see. Now, transmission is a ECBT transmission with a electronic all-wheel drive setup. If you do go for the regular gas version, it will be a mechanical all-wheel drive setup. As you can see right there, just switch back over into the hybrid mode, because when you do depress the accelerator a little bit, it will kick off. Now, what I do like is the animations and graphics that you do get when you change the various different drive modes. If I go into this normal mode right there, you can see the RAV4, mini RAV4 going across the whole screen, which is very cool. It's the little details. Go ahead and hit the highway real quick, and then we'll talk a little more about city driving on our way back. Now, speaking of technology with this RAV4, you do have this 12.3-inch display here and a 10.5-inch display right there with wireless CarPlay and Android Auto connectivity. It is routed through a 11-speaker JBL sound system. Now, as we sit on the highway, I do want to go ahead and throw on the adaptive cruise control. This does have the Safety Sense 2.5 driver assist technology. While throwing on the adaptive cruise, you can adjust the following distances all the way up to 4 or down to 1 following distance, as so. Using the camera up top, it will follow the traffic in front of it. And you also have lane keep information as well, so it will pull you back if you do veer over the lanes. It does have automatic emergency braking, blind spot information right there, as you can see with the vehicle. And I have to say though, Adaptive Cruise definitely does do a good job for sure. Now, speaking of ride quality, this does have McPherson struts up front with a multi-link out back. And with the 18-inch wheels that this version does have in this limited trim, the ride quality is definitely great for sure. Really just soaks up the bumps. And even at highway speeds, you have a nice, cushy, and quiet ride. As you can see also right here inside of the screen, you do have the speed limit warning, so it will show you the speed limit in the area, as well as all your various different driver assist and speed that you're currently going. Like, it's eerie quiet in here. It's crazy. Going about 60 miles an hour or so. Now, when you think of competition with this vehicle, I think of things like the Honda CR-V Hybrid Touring, for instance. And I mean, there's a whole lot of entries in the segment. Definitely a very popular segment for sure. Now, originally the Camry was Toyota's bestseller, but now that's been this vehicle right here, road rage. You know, but the RAV4 is Toyota's bestseller for sure. You get all the practicality that you want with 37.5 cubic feet of space behind these second row seats, and you get all the technology in a reliable package. So I mean, when you think about hybrids, the Prius is probably the first one that comes to mind, and you have a very similar powertrain in a sort of sense to that vehicle. Obviously, it's a different engine, but you know, the battery as built is engine setup. And even like when rolling, when that electric boost just kicks in, which is instantaneous, it just rockets you forward with this NA 4-cylinder. Now, more about trims with the RAV4, you can also get a woodland version, which is a more off-road oriented exterior design version. You have the aggressive XSE and this fully loaded limited. So if you want to have a little more style, get the XSE. If you want to have all of the options, get this limited trim right here. And you do also have a couple lower trims. You got XLE, all of which is available in either the hybrid, the plug-in hybrid, or even the gas version as well. You got SE. It's literally a whole bunch of trims that you can get this vehicle in. And each one will serve your various different purposes or niches depending upon what you want. But just sitting here at the light, the car is very smooth, quiet, and refined. Right now we are still in sport mode. And you can also put it into a sport trans mode as well. So if you push the gear shifter over here into sport, it will show you all the various different gears that you do go through and so on. Now, being the eCVT transmission, you do have simulated gears. So you can go through all the various different gears, pushing up to upshift or pushing back to downshift. I'm going to show you guys the 360 camera as we see here at the light. Look at the graphics, so clear, so crisp. You get a full 3D view, and you can see everything right there. If I push the camera again, you can pull up a in-depth front view, and you can exit right there when hitting that button. But all this is so cool. Look at the graphics, is just amazing. You can go to your settings right there to adjust some other stuff and so on. Now, this is my personal preference for the 12.3-inch cluster right here, where I have my lane information in the middle, and I have my trip information and then the meter connection. So when I have the radio or like the CarPlay running, I'll just have my device stuff on that side. You just right there in this automatic mode, it will come up under speeds of 8 to 9 miles an hour. You can also deactivate it by hitting the button like so. And that was about 60 miles an hour or so right there. Now, Toyota says a 7.3 second 0 to 60 with this version. The plug-in hybrid is about 5.6, and then the regular version is 8 seconds. And that's definitely a nice show of torque for sure. You can really just feel it accelerate. And that's probably the best mode to like launch this vehicle is in sport trans, TC off, and you'll just accelerate with no problem at all. But as you get a little bit closer to the dealership, I won't get to the conclusion of what I think about this RAV4 Limited. And I have to say, I definitely am impressed. You get a reliable hybrid SUV like this in a nice value package. This version as equipped is $45,274. It does have a couple of options, which I will put in the description below, as it does have the advanced driver assist package, as well as a little bit more of the technology on the interior. You do have the Safety Sense 2.5, which does work great, and you do have the steer assist, which is more improved than prior generations of the RAV4. Now, I have to say though, I do like the cool seats. That is a nice addition, as well as the 360 camera, and you just get the full view and everything that you want in a vehicle like this. And with so many like vehicles in the segment, it's just hard to choose which one you want. You have the CRV Hybrid Touring, for instance. You have things from the Hyundai entry, the Tucson Hybrid, plug-in hybrid, Nissan, the Rogue. So I mean, you have endless options in this segment, and each one has its own unique characteristics that really just makes it more desirable than the other. But that's going to wrap up this video. This is Chris signing out. We're almost at the dealership, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.